Hey, what? Yo. All right, we're back. So weird. It was working just a second ago and then it just stopped. But all right, but you know how you fix things? When all else fails, you just unplug it and you plug it back in. Sometimes we want to do that with the cryptocurrency markets when things are just really bad. We're just like, can we unplug this and then plug it back in? But right now, I think we definitely plug Bitcoin back in because it's starting to get a little hot in here, guys. We actually have been seeing the trend of every time we hit these lows on Bitcoin, they just get bought up. Even like they tried to push us back down into some of these nasty levels here, which is funny to say they're nasty levels because they're over 100K. So this is what is fascinating going into these areas of new price structure, because you got to think about, we were fighting like $90,000 resistance and $96,000 resistance for a little while. If you go back in the Bitcoin's history here, where we were just chopping around at 95, 93, you can see all these levels here. You can see right, and then the 70. Just gosh, there's so many levels where we've just kind of been chopping around and breaking those new all-time highs. And then this was just major chop, shakeout, consolidation. And then we went as low as 76 again, right back down to that support. But every time now that we've been over this 100K, the whales are just scooping up these lows. It just seems like there's so much buying pressure now, as opposed to what the selling pressure was when we had the ETFs offloading. So a lot of that sell pressure that we had months ago leading off of the Trump pump was a lot of the ETF sell-off. And so what it did is it triggered kind of a sell-off. And you think the stock market sold off too. So everything was going down. So it was kind of like, the Bitcoin went down. I think crypto kind of got hit first, and then then the stock market, and then everything kind of, because you can sell off crypto quicker than you can sell off stocks. So that's kind of how I think the market was reacting, is that crypto took the plunge first, and then it was the stock market. But then we had the signal from the Trump administration, Trump himself being the signal group that he has now on Truth Social, saying, oh, now's a good time to buy. And if you were to actually had paid attention to that for the stock market and crypto, I mean, that was the low. That might have been the bottom. So let's, somewhere around here, it was when that announcement. We'd love to see exactly when that announcement was. It's a good time to buy. When did Trump say it's a good time to buy? Someone go look that up for me real quick. When did Trump say it was a good time to buy? And then we should look exactly when that, what the price increase was for Bitcoin and also the stock market. But pretty fascinating. And we're seeing something happen here. We're seeing something happen where we're seeing gold is now pumping still, even off the double top here. We said gold was going to cool off a little bit and probably maybe bounce off of this level, this $31,000 level, which was that established new all-time high, and then the consolidation into the brand new all-time high, which is by about $3,500 at an ounce, which is crazy. Gold is still going to be trucking up because it's the other. If people are not in crypto, that the big money that's wanting to hedge their bet against the U.S. dollar, they are still going to be in gold. It still offers a decent hedge return against fiat currency. But now those institutions, those same people are thinking, well, what's the other option? What's the second best? Or actually, what is the there is no second best, but there is no second best. Really, it is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the top asset because of the nature of how it's divisible, how it can be tracked. Not tracked in the sense of that, it's completely, you don't have any privacy, but it's immutable on the blockchain. You can see from what transaction goes, what every block is connected. So that's what the blockchain is, and there's a limited supply of this Bitcoin, this Bitcoin we're all talking about. And so this is why Bitcoin's going up. This is why Bitcoin's going up. Institutions are playing ball. This is all institutional driven, adoption here. and retail is nowhere to be found. Retail is nowhere to be found. Okay. Okay, so no, and this is for the past 30 days. You know, we've had interest in Bitcoin. It's going up a little bit. It's getting up there. It's getting back. But we'll show you the past 5 years of how the spikes were and where retail had actual euphoric sentiment for crypto and just trying to, you know, risk something, you know, just to get into something, just to think about investing or not having just their money sit somewhere whilst they're seeing people make money. So that's what builds euphoria for retail coming into the markets. The same way that we probably got pulled into the markets ourselves was from a feeling of missing out and wanting to get into these markets. So, and shout out to everyone who's here. Thank you so much for chatting. I thought we had the chat. Where's our chat? Did we? Oh, sorry. We didn't have the chat on the screen. Let's go. Let's make sure we give a shout out to everyone who's here, and we'll continue this show. We're talking about Bitcoin, but we're going to lead it into memes. We're going to lead it into Pepe and why we think Pepe is the Dogecoin of this cycle. And make sure you check out the polls. Do you own any spot Pepe? Is that something that you've been accumulating? Do you think it's worth having Pepe in your portfolio? And if not Pepe, then what is your meme of choice? Because I really do think in this cycle, I think it's no question that the memes have a space as a portion of your portfolio, because the people that have faded the memes and didn't buy anything, they end up feeling the FOMO towards the end of the euphoric run, because then they're like, wow, like I can't believe I didn't buy Pepe or I didn't buy Dogecoin. And then the whales usually end up accumulating, and then there you go. So it's really interesting how this happens. But yeah, shout out to everyone who's here. Shout out to Sadie. Shout out to Shivman. Shout out to Nicholas. Shout out to everyone who's here. But make sure you're voting on the poll. But then also we're having a goal today. Let's see if we can meet our goal. The goal is, if we can get 10 super chats, we will pick one lucky winner out of the super chatters. If you live in the United States, that you'll be getting some free Beancoin coffee. So this is my special blend of coffee, my crypto coffee brand that I don't ever talk about. I only talk about for a little bit, and it was whilst the market was just kind of in shambles and people were capitulating. So it was almost kind of the worst time to try and get people to buy anything, because they're like, I can't even buy crypto right now. What do you think I'm going to buy your coffee? So. But yeah, it's funny. But yeah, so whoever ends up the lucky winner, you'll get some free coffee. You get some free coffee. So let's go. All right. Now, what's happening with Bitcoin? Well, we bounced really well. If you're looking at the 4 hour here on Coinbase, we did a double bottom here, 106, 106, and you can see a nice little double bottom pattern here, signaling a strength and W recovery that could bring us to the top of the Bollinger Band. So if you're thinking like, what key indicators could I use just to give me some levels of where you think price could be headed, put on those Bollinger Bands. Shout out to John Bollinger, legendary trader, who is also bullish on Bitcoin too. And then we're going to also get into the legendary trader right now that's kind of going in the books as being one of the most bullish degen traders right now, James Wynn, and he just recently went on Crypto Banter. We're going to play a little clip of how he's bullish on crypto, and also maybe he's signaling that it was time to go long. Like he went short, he closed the short, and then he went full long degen, and also is bullish on Pepe as well. So these whales are the whales that like Bitcoin and aren't full maxis. Guess what they like? They're going for Pepe. So this is really interesting combination. When I see Bitcoin doing really well, I see Pepe following Bitcoin very, very good, very nicely. So there's these key coins that follow Bitcoin better than others. And that's what you want, because when Bitcoin is dominating and Bitcoin dominance is high, Bitcoin dominance at 64%, I mean, and you can have some altcoins that are actually following this during the dominance of Bitcoin. That's fascinating. So I'm going to try and have those, trade those, spot buy those, because then my portfolio is going to be super, super strong, holding Bitcoin and also holding those spot, cryptos that are moving really well with Bitcoin. So looks like we're having this W pattern. Could play out. We got some levels to break, though. We got some levels to break. We have some fibs to respect here. So let's look at the Fibonacci extension levels. And we pulled the fib from the low to the high, and it looks like we were able to trade up into the 618 here. And we're just stopping. We're just stopping for a little cool off. Next level is the 786, which is right at that 110,800 level. You might as well call it 111,000. And if we take the fib away, I want to see these resistance levels. So this is what's interesting. I have the horizontal ray here, marking these levels of resistance that we hit. And it looks like we traded right into and in between. Now we're in between the ranges of resistance on the candles right here that engulfs this big candle right here. So it's almost like the same distance, same price range and structure right here. And what's nice is that I thought to myself, okay, because we're breaking down and we didn't go past 109,300, which was kind of that line in the sand, I put this as the line in the sand. I was like, all right, this is the line in the sand price. If it breaks down here, then we're going back down into this level. Then we're going to get chopped up in this level. That was a possibility. This is the line in the sand. If we broke down here, it was kind of game over for the alts, because Bitcoin going back to 107,000 while it's, alts are trying to do something, then it was going to be kind of nasty. So it looks like, because of the nature of Bitcoin still trading with some decent volume on a holiday where markets are actually closed, and it's, the crypto markets are open still. And then you saw that, kind of last night, the Asian markets were able to push up the Bitcoin price to 111,000 kind of real quick, and then brought it right back down to 109. You can see here the choppiness, the chop here all through this range. You can see it. Do. And I see that's a shakeout. That's just, I just call these like shakeout moments, where you can see clear price, trend up, and then and they're just going to go like this. Shake your butt out. So we're seeing the volatility play out right now. If you look at the 1 minute chart, you can see where we actually are still getting buys at these prices, 109,000, 110,000. Whales are still accumulating at these prices. Michael Saylor bought some Bitcoin today. And how much did he buy today? He bought $500 million worth of Bitcoin today. Yeah, Strategy acquired $427 million of Bitcoin at 106,233 per Bitcoin, has achieved BTC yield. So this was an obviously, it's an OTC deal. So it's not going to be, it's going to be a little bit different than what, like, say, okay, you're like, what the heck? Why is that price? Well, it's OTC. And it was probably settled on on an actual price that was relative towards where, think where we just were, kind of around. Average price was here, so 106. So like, interesting. So that was at this double bottom spot right here. So 106, and then already if that was at 106 and it's back up to 110, that means even just from that price, they've already gained a 3.3% return, 3.3% return on $500 million. That's wild. And guys, hit the like button. Smash up the like button. If I'm entertaining you even just slightly, it's worth the like button. It's worth hitting the like button. It's free. It's absolutely free. That would be much, much appreciated. And shout out to everyone who's watching on all platforms. Now let's get into the trade. So the Bitcoin trade is still open. It lost a little bit of its value because I was trying to be very cautious. I said, look, I got this trade open still, but I want to make sure in case we get some crazy wick down that I set a stop loss. So I did set a stop loss and it got hit. So it took a little bit of the value out. So I was like, okay, let me wait and see if I can get a good entry. And so I managed to get a pretty decent entry at 1096. So I was thinking if we bounce from anywhere and we're chopping around this area between 109 or 108,000, 109,000, then if I can get just any type of entry around in this level before we go into the week, then because it is showing strength still, like especially because we did that little double bottom deal, and it sent us to the upside. Like I said, with that line in the sand price not crossing that, then that was signal for me. And so we're still in the long. We're gonna, we'll still take profits. We'll be scalping, but we're really looking for, and we're actually looking to increase some of this. Like we want to add in a little bit more margin on this trade because I really see it. The next levels that we're going to be hitting is 115,000, 120,000. At this point, we're just staircasing like Plan B style. Like you look at the Plan B chart and you think, man, this dude really does have a massive skill in calling these macro trends, and it pretty lining up pretty well with the stock to flow model here. Just like little steps. And we're in a really, really perfect range. And so what is this going to do? Well, it's going to make it's going to be making the meme coins and the strong fundamental volume coins, like things that are actually minting stable coins. Like here's the thing, I had a gripe with Cardano, because Cardano totes all of this stuff about like blockchain innovation and all these things, and that's great and all, but where is the stable coin action? There's only $31 million of stables on Cardano, and no one is really actually there doing DeFi like they are and excited about it like they would be Sui or Hyperliquid or even a Pulse Chain. You got Abstract. Even more people are, you could stream on Abstract. There's like so many things that are way more interesting than Cardano. And it's just, I think Cardano really needs a better PR campaign or something. I don't know. But it's just been annoying me. Like the Cardano people calling for like $5 or $10 Cardano. I'm like, but from what? Like who is investing in Cardano in the sense that like look at these stables that are being minted on Tron, Base, Arbitrum, Sui. It's in the billions. Even Barachain has more stables minted than Cardano. Come on, that's so crazy. So unless Cardano is going to have some crazy Bitcoin DeFi revolution, like I don't see Cardano going anywhere. I honestly think that you're better off, in my opinion, investing in freaking in meme coins, because they don't have a foundation and unlocks and a bunch of crap. Like that's literally why Pepe and Dogecoin has been the pick of whales, because it's less counterparty risk, actually. It's hilarious that Pepe the Frog has less counterparty risk than all of these fundamental projects. Hilarious. They want to convince you to buy the... All right, I got a letter from the boss that says you better make $1 million right now from trading Pepe. But yeah, Pepe, like I said, Pepe is like an open chart. Like it's so funny that we got convinced that you're crazy, you're an idiot, you're such a degen because you're into memes. All the while, the memes outperformed all the VC vaporware tokens, and we have things crashing and exploited. Even Sui gets exploited, and the memes on that chain go bonk. And all the while, CT and crypto Twitter are telling you that ETH is dead, and you shouldn't buy strong ETH coins that have been able to survive all of the chaos. I don't know what the hell else to tell you. So, but that's how I've viewed the market. It's all a big distraction game, and who's going to extract your attention so then they can extract your wealth and get you like just completely bamboozled and almost left with nothing. I'll be the first one to tell you that. And it's just like, and look, you got projects like that freaking got fully rug pulled by the team. It wasn't like it was like, it was like there was a discrepancy with something and we just made a mistake. No, they just like they were overly valued by fake valuation, putting them up into the top 15, top 20 tokens with like no liquidity to back it up. And the moment that things got too hot and they couldn't sustain the fake crap, it crashed. So how are we supposed to trust these projects? You know, this is why I love Miles Deutscher's new video. So shout out to Miles Deutscher. He released a really, really good, I don't know how to freaking spell his name. There we go. Man, YouTube's really liking Miles. They're really pushing him because he's almost up. He's almost to 500,000 subscribers, and he changed his name to his Miles Deutscher Finance, so a little bit more tailored. But yeah, his most recent video, is this it? Yeah. Just kind of talks about his strategy. And where was it? There was a point in this video, but it's chaptered out. But yeah, just watch. It's only 22 minutes long. It's not a very long video, but he points out the fact that it's the same thing that I was saying in before the weekend on Friday. I was saying, or I think I was saying it on whatever the last time I was live streaming, just about keeping it simple. And if you have 15, 20, 30 different coins, it's not going to be feasible, and it's going to be very time consuming to have to keep up with all the news, keep up with all the groups, keep up with all the telegrams, keep up with any type of events that might be happening, positive or negative, for those particular projects. And for instance, say like you had like 20, 25 different altcoins and OWN being one of them, and like you weren't able to keep track of kind of what was happening, what was going on, or if something looked a little fishy, and then all of a sudden, like you like a big chunk of your portfolio or whatever it was just kind of goes kaput, and you're like, what the heck's going on? So it's interesting that if you could narrow it down to like, I mean, it's even as simple as 5 coins, like, yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then like you have like 1 or 2 memes, and then you got some like RWA, or you have maybe some storage coins, or maybe some metaverse or gaming coins, but you still have narrowed it down to maybe 5 to 10 coins. And then you research those, you keep up with those, and it's a lot easier to then know if you need to pivot. Maybe you need to sell a little bit. Maybe you're like, all right, this is the time to actually really hold because there's going to be an event happening that could push the price up. Like for instance, like XYO is one of these coins for me where I'm like, I'm really trying to keep up with the ecosystem. I'm downloading the testnet wallet. I'm seeing where there might be opportunities where I can use the network and just being invested in that network, because I have this thought, could be wrong, that they're going to be listed on Binance soon, just spot, and just getting a lot of attention on Binance because they're just getting listings all over the place. And they're very buddy-buddy with Binance, especially when they're talking about RWA and being and always in the list of articles for Binance. So I just kind of see that as the signal. So for me, that's a project that I'm doing that same kind of research, and it keeps it simple. Ticker Bitcoin is that for me. Pepe. So I'm like, I keep it simple with the memes. I like Ticker Bitcoin, Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, Tianinu, and Pepe. And I like to keep it simple. And so yeah, check out Miles Dorcher's video. It's kind of like he's just like dial it in, get your routine set, keep it simple, and don't have yourself spread too thin, because then you won't perform as well as if you're just actually dialed in, locked in, and not wasting your time, getting your attention grabbed all over the place. And you can just very much focus, which I know is hard for us to do in crypto. We got the memory of a goldfish, and sometimes it's hard for us to keep focus, because a lot of the times, these markets just swing, they go all over the place, and I get it. It can get a little tricky. It can get a little tricky. It can get a little tricky. But all right, guys. Well, I have to end this live stream a little early, because the big boss actually, the big boss has a meeting. Big boss has a meeting, so got to make sure I'm available. It is a holiday, and kids are out of school, but actually all kids are out of school already for the summer. But I do the private school thing, so it's a completely different schedule. So we're off, but then we're going back for at least another week or two, and then we'll be on for the summer. So for the summer. All right. But thank you guys for coming in today. It was a short little live stream. And I don't think we didn't get any super chats. I know, I get it. It's all good. You win some, you lose some, But yeah, we really do appreciate you guys. Thanks for participating in the poll. We have 50-50 split, a no and a yes on the poll. Thanks for participating. Really appreciate it. Thanks for smashing up the likes, and make sure you check out all the links in the description. And everyone who is at the Bitcoin conference, have a good time. I hope you enjoy yourselves. There's going to be 3 days of all kinds of shenanigans and things. So just don't gamble too hard. I'm sure. I think it's ironic that people call crypto gambling and trading, and then we have the Bitcoin conference at Las Vegas, where all the highest frequency of gambling in the world is happening. So let's keep it fresh, keep it clean. But all right, I'll see you guys later. Maybe we'll live stream later if we get a chance. I think we'll get a chance. Since we didn't get to live stream as long as we wanted to, then we will live stream later today, and we'll update you on the trades. We'll tell you what moves we're actually making. We were going to go into some moves. I went into like what I want to do. I want to scale up the Bitcoin trade. So we injected some liquidity, some Bitcoin into, I sent a Bitcoin transaction. I sent like $400, $450 of Bitcoin, and it only cost 36 cents. And the exchanges have to verify it, but it only cost 36 cents, and it got in the wallet like in 5 minutes. I know it's not instant. So like instant, oh my God, Bitcoin's so slow. But it's still awesome. Hey, I did it myself. I didn't have to freaking like do it, so it's just, I like that. So we're going to take a little bit of that Bitcoin. We're going to inject it into this trade. We're going to set a stop loss at break even, so then we don't do something stupid. And we are going to then use the rest of that Bitcoin liquidity. I think I told myself I wanted to take a little bit of portion of my Bitcoin and put it into, I think I'm going to buy some more XYO. I really think XYO is going to do like an 800%, 900% move to the upside. It's extremely undervalued. And when ETH pumps, which it will, and it's going to freaking go, I think XYO is going to explode, as well as Pepe. That's my hedge bet. That's kind of my like golden goose coin. If I can just get a little bit more XYO, I know if that thing will freaking fly. So, because I've seen it. It's done it before. It's already done it. It's proven itself. So, it's heading back up to the all-time high. So, I want to put a little bit of Bitcoin, sell a little bit of the Bitcoin, and get some altcoin. And I know that's like, it's like, oh my God, but I'm still gonna accumulate Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's gonna go to $1 million. So even buying spot Bitcoin at 110,000 or maybe even under 100, I think if you're getting it at under 150K, and the dang thing goes to $1 million per coin, that's still a 4x. I mean, it's still 5x. That's not bad. That's a pretty good return. That's a pretty good return. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, that's my plan today. That's what I'm gonna do. But I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. And I will see you on the next live stream. Peace out. Oh, yeah, word from the sponsors.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.